So you want to learn how to code and you haven't got time or you haven't got the interest and you'd rather just get stuff shipping, just get applications working. What you want to do is code with an AI agent. So I'm going to show you how to do that today inside of VS Code. So there's only 3 things you need. You need VS Code. Under the extensions tab, you need something called GitHub Copilot. There you go. So you can install Copilot here or the Copilot chat as well. Another option as well, which will work just the same, is Gemini Code Assistant if you prefer to use Google. But for today's sake, I'm going to stick with GitHub Copilot. You'll know it's installed because you'll see your little GitHub icon down here. And if you click on here, it'll open up your chat and you can just get signed in straight away. So I'm going to keep this nice and quick today. We're going to show you how all of this works and how you can just generate and ship software. So I'm going to close that because that's quite distracting. And don't be put off if you don't know anything about how VS Code works, how the whole IDE works. You can essentially just ignore everything there and just focus on this tab here. It does not matter the VS, the actual preview side, so the actual code bit. We're just going to keep this open so we can see what's going on. But okay, so how does kind of GitHub Copilot work? Hopefully you're signed in by now and looking at the same page. So clicking your icon down here, you're going to see everything that you have. So inline suggestions for me is included, chat messages are included, and I have a premium request limit. So I'm not sure if this is the same for everyone, but I'm sure you do have some premium requests. But if you are a student, you do get, I think it works out to be about $12 worth of premium requests, which does last a long time. It normally lasts me about 3 weeks. But what we can do is once you have your chat open, this is where we're going to spend most of our time. So first things first, you have the game changer which they introduced at the beginning of January called plan mode. So instead of just asking an AI for some code, you can either plan or use agent. Now the big difference here using planning mode is you're going to build out your prompt with the AI. So if you were just to, for example, to go straight onto agent mode and go make me a game, it would just ask you loads of questions and just kind of make it up as it goes along. It wouldn't do much at all. It would base everything off your prompt. But if you go to plan, you're going to plan with the AI and build out the theory before it starts to build. And the main difference between this and then copying and pasting from ChatGPT or Gemini directly straight into a file is agents are able to interact with the terminal as well as files and folders. So it can do all of the changes for you and actually test your builds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click plan and I'm going to go to Claude Opus 4.5. You'll notice this does have a 3 times next to it. That just means how many premium credits it's going to use. So Haiku is one of the cheaper ones at 3.33. You do have some free models. But Opus is essentially like a senior architect who has way better scope over the project. So for today's purpose, I'm going to be using that. And okay, so what I'm going to ask it to do is, can you help me to design a... let's just make a basic clicker game today. This prompt here is really basic. A normal AI wouldn't really know what to do with it except just make a basic clicker game, and it would go into what they do as like reasoning or deep thinking. And I've got my newborn next to me, sorry, so if you do hear anything. So yeah, so we're going to open up planning mode here. So you're going to see it starting to think, and in a second it's going to ask me some clarifying questions. So the workspace appears to be empty. I have called my folder Pac-Man. I made some last minute changes. So you can see it's actually searching and it's double checking everything's empty, because what Claude always does first is check the directory for anything inside it and adds that to its context. So here we go. So Money Simulator Clicker Game. So it's decided to use HTML, CSS and JavaScript. I'm actually going to ask, can it use Python, just so it's a locally installed app rather than, you know, a live website. So core gameplay logic is telling me how to do that. I'm going to ask, can you instead make it Python so it's a local app rather than a web app. So I asked for it to be a local app rather than web because services like lovable.dev I got quite far with last month or the month before. I was getting really into programming with AI that way, and I discovered that it's just web apps all the time, so you can't actually get too much local code off it. So what it's doing is it's now actually checking, can it use Python? And Python is one of the easiest programming languages to learn. So if you are developing with an AI agent and trying to learn to code, this can give you a massive boost in your skills because it can make you boilerplate code that you can go in and edit and learn how it works and communicates between functions, classes, all of the fun stuff. Okay, so let's have a look, see what's decided. So it's building a local desktop clicker game called Python. Oh, using Python, and I haven't heard of that. What do you call them? I can't remember at the moment. It's too early for this. It's like 2:12. So it's going to buy properties for passive income and purchase upgrades from the shop. Game state saves to a JSON, so entry points, build states, add save and load system. Now, it will always ask you for further considerations. So do I want it to be a single file or modular, property progression, visual theme? Once we're ready, we can go start implementation, and you do also have the option to continue in the cloud, but I believe this does rack up extra GitHub costs, so just be mindful of what you are spending. AI, it's cheap still. Claude Opus, I sent 94 messages to the other day, and it worked out to be $4. So it's really cheap to use. You're not exactly going to go and blow a mortgage on GitHub, but just keep in mind that you are using money here if you don't have premium limits. Okay, so let's go for a nice, sleek, modern theme. That always seems to give us quite a nice theme going. And then I'm going to say the rest is up to you. Do what is best for a game on Windows. There you go. It's just going to formulate that final plan now. So I've told it to finalize the plan essentially. I should research what the theming options are. So what these AIs can actually do is go out and research, similar to ChatGPT and Gemini. But the biggest difference is I'm not going to have to do anything. I don't have to look at any files, folders. All I have to do is approve the code and click run if I like it and it works. Copilot will do all of the debugging. If there's errors, it will just loop through, so it will build and run. If there are errors, it will build, fix, until you finally have your game running. So it looks like it's just researching themes right now. It's probably out there prowling the web. It's currently 2:15, so let's see if we can have something running by, let's say 2:30. We'll see if we can actually get something going within 15 minutes. So if I can make a game within 15 minutes, that would be the biggest time saver ever. Okay, so let's have a look. So it's going to set up a themed window, create a money display and click button, build property shop panel, upgrade panel, passive income loop, and save load system. I'm now going to hit start implementation and send that message. So when you start implementation, you'll see it changes from your plan mode to agent. So essentially what we've done is we've taken this initial prompt. So this is a very bland sentence, like I said. And it's very important to know that AI is only ever going to be as good as your prompt. So this is crap. This will give you god-awful outputs. Whereas this, so it's taken this as its first context, the original plan, and then it's expanded on its context of the plan with everything here. So you can see it's even got window size, JSON, looks like even fonts there it's decided, structure. I didn't tell it any of this. It's now just going to go and work it out. And in a second, you'll see some files popping up and maybe run some terminal commands as well. We'll have a look. But this is just incredibly simple just for the everyday person. Let's say you have an idea for an app. You don't want to pay someone to make it. And I understand the concerns there as well, but this is just for educational purposes today. You can just go and, I'm just going to pull this back a little bit just so we can see what's happening. Oh, looks like it's actually asking us to run a command here. So pip install custom Kinter. I haven't heard of that before. So you can just allow a command, or if you're feeling extra ballsy, you can just allow all commands in the session, allow exact commands, allow pip commands. I'm just going to hit allow all just so we can actually see something progress today. And it looks like I don't even have pip installed. So what we should see in a minute is it's asking me to go and install Python. Sometimes it can do that for you, but it looks like I just need to do that quick. There you go. So what I've done is all I did was follow its instructions here. So I just clicked the link, ran the installer, and I asked it, do I have Python installed now? So I am basically just following the AI's instruction at this point. And let's have a look. So configure a Python environment. I'm just going to always allow. Feel free to go and, I suppose we'll create a virtual environment. Let's do a and then just global. So I just kind of clicked random things there. I mean, it's too early for me to even know what I'm clicking. So the AI will obviously tell me if I'm wrong. So we've made something now. So it's going to keep working. It's going to keep always allowing these commands. So now it's installing custom Kinter again. So it's installed, it's set up a virtual environment. And now you can, and you know what? Within 3 minutes, we actually have our money clicker already. So let's actually build up to $50. And let's see if we can actually get a property as well, like a lemonade stand. There you go. We now have an auto clicker set up. Not an auto clicker, sorry, but you know what I mean? Like, this is almost like a hybrid between Adventure Capitalist and Cookie Clicker. And we made that in 3 minutes. So if this is something that can be made in 3 minutes, imagine what happens when you spend, like an hour inside of here making a clicker game. It's just an example, and it's a very basic example, but still, I mean, I've been recording for 11 minutes and I have Python software running that looks like I would have spent hours on in university. But okay, I mean, that's running already. So what I'm going to do is this time I'm going to go back to plan mode, and I'm going to say, hey, this looks great. What other features can you suggest? So I'm going to switch my brain off completely. I'm not doing anything tonight. I am just going to sit here and let the AI do it. So this is what the AI thinks I should add. So achievements. So let me just expand this out a little bit, make it look a bit prettier. Prestige and rebirth. So reset progress for prestige points. Milestones, daily rewards, floating numbers, click animations, progress bars, sound effects, managers, random events, investments, property upgrades, offline earnings, statistics, settings. And let's just say, so you don't always have to hit start implementation. I can go back to agent mode. Just go, I want all of these start. And then it's going to go back and reiterate every feature and get it working for us. So that's a lot. I'll start implementing them in a logical order, grouping related features together. So you'll see it's actually generating right now. It's doing a bit of thinking. And it's made itself a nice to-do list as well. So when you give an AI agent a lot of tasks, it's going to break it down. So it's currently adding the achievement system. Then it'll do the floating click numbers, click button animations, all the way down to daily rewards, which is a lot for an app, but we're going to do this until 2:30, like I said. So let's just wait for this to finish up what it's doing now then. Okay, I'll just stop the recording for a minute just because it took, I mean, it's currently 2:31, so we just hit our deadline really. So it's got a lot of new features. So within, I think it was like 15-20 minutes. I can't actually remember when we started this. I'm just going to hit keep. And what we're actually going to do is just going to say, can you run the program? You literally need zero knowledge of, I mean, I know how Visual Studio works. I use Xcode myself. But what I can do is just get the AI to do it all for me. I'm just demonstrating that this is the quickest way for you to learn how to development. Learn how to development. Oh, that's a nice sound. So it has a sound effect, which is terrible. Every time you click, it's almost ear deafening. So I'm not going to play it out loud. But we do have achievements at work. We have some stats here. So current money, total earned, power click. Looks like we can also invest as well now. So it looks like we can... All clicks are critical for 20 seconds. So we've got a lucky click there. So there's quite a few we can actually do here. I don't know what any of these buttons do right now. Let's get the double click power. So it just increases down. This click sound is awful. I would change this. Look, we've got progress bars as well for all of our upgrades. So we're nearly getting close to that one. So this is really cool. So within like 15-20 minutes, we built this full Python game. And we can prestige as well, but we need 1 million to get there. We have a save game state. This is brilliant. I mean, I've sat here watching TikTok while this has actually just flown through. But I hope this has kind of taught you that you can just make any program, app, or game you want using GitHub Copilot. And I mean, that used barely any of my premium requests as well. If I pull this back up as well, I actually have 2 instances of it running, so it did launch it the first time. That's my mistake. I get rid of one of them. But yeah, so just to also add, this does work for Android Studio as well. So you can add the GitHub Copilot extension there. On Xcode, there is the GitHub Copilot for Xcode plugin. You have to download it off GitHub, but then you can make macOS and iPhone apps using AI. There's literally no limit to what you can create with AI agents. So, you know, we have created this game and we have done nothing inside of here. We're still on Get Started with Python. Like, we have nothing open except this. And then you can come down, you can actually edit all of this. You can learn how the code communicates. And it's all in one file as well, which doesn't seem like the best practice, but it works. But there we go. So that is AI agenting. My goal on this channel is to make AI accessible to everyone. So if you are interested in learning about, you know, self-hosting AI and more AI projects you can do on your own in the future, please leave a like and please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.